What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Picking up my truck, I'll come back to that. Picking up my truck again. Seems like every time I get my truck, the next day the check engine light keeps coming back on. It's not on right now. My guys went through and worked on it, but I'll come back to that. The Cowboys, the players, really seem saddened by the loss. And you can see the impact of Zach Martin. And I'm almost wondering, have people known for longer than just finding out today that, oh my God, he's going to have season-ending surgery? Because you think about 2 weeks ago on Micah Parsons, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Micah Parsons' podcast, he was saying that not giving up because of players like Zach Martin and things, and went to bat for the players and basically said Mike McCarthy, hasn't done half the, I can't remember exactly what, hasn't done half of the work that a Zach Martin has done. And you listen to him now, basically talking today about, it's his last contract and going out like this, that you wonder if they kind of knew that his season was up, 2 weeks ago. Because you don't come out there with all of that passion and things like that unless, it's over. And for the Cowboys, and I'm not saying that he's not deserving of NFL Man of the Year. There's even guys who aren't nominated to be Men of the Year are great ones in the community. There's just some fantastic guys in the NFL. When my wife used to work for United Way, she would end up having to see and review each team's Man of the Year player. I would always know ahead of time who it was, but it was double secret probation on who was going to be nominated. I couldn't come out and say, hey, guess what, who's going, because I already knew, because they submitted it they have to submit it to the NFL, and the NFL reviews those, and they come out with who they decide is going to be Man of the Year. They do the background checks and all that kind of stuff. But the Cowboys coming out with Zach Martin as their NFL Man of the Year, is this kind of their way of saying, thank you. Sorry we didn't get you the ring, but here's your consolation prize. You are the Cowboys Man of the Year. But there's so much heartfelt sadness from the players. CeeDee Lamb is like, this is like my rookie year, where we keep having guys that keep getting injured and losing them. And the thing about football, and this is where you have to understand that football is not forever. That this team, when this season is over, you're saying goodbye to a lot of players, a lot of guys that have been there, just like last year we let go of Zeke, and Zeke came back, this year. But you have to you think that Zeke is gone again. Zeke won't be back, next year, and that's another loss. And you keep having these losses of players. And it's sad that the Cowboys weren't able to get guys like Zach Martin the ring. And he will truly be lost. I can guarantee you that one. So, now, back to my truck. This shit is crazy. I realize that I've gotten screwed by the dealership. And I don't know if they just have, right now it's hard finding good help or what. Normally I go to my guys down here, R&M. They're local. They know me. They worked on when I used to have my red pickup truck for years. So and that's the thing I will tell you, when you have a vehicle, is develop a relationship with a mechanic, because You don't know. The trucks and vehicles are so complicated these days. You don't know if they're bullshitting you or not. And it's real easy to say, "Oh yeah, you need the sprinkler spring." Okay, man, oh my God, that's 30 hours of labor to do it. And a sprinkler spring might be, a 5-cent washer. It takes them 2 minutes to do. But that wind is like a freight train. And this is what's crazy, okay? We have an artificial tree that's out here, okay? Artificial tree. And the base that came with it was plastic. It's an indoor tree. But I put it up yesterday along with these smaller trees. And the wind has been, 45, 55 mile an hour gust has been knocking the little trees. There's like a flower pot on it. I've got 3 bricks in there, and these little trees get knocked over. So I dug a hole to put those in there, and even this morning, they were knocked over. But the tree yesterday, with the plastic base that came with it, I put some sandbags on it. It just broke the base. Okay, I looked around trying to find an artificial tree base, metal. And I found one at Walmart. It was like $15, but you can see it was thin sheet metal, and it folded up. But did the same thing last night. Put it in there, put the sandbags on it. I actually dug down the ground, so it's in the ground. And it broke last night in the middle of the night. I said, I'm going to fix this shit. Being a carpenter, jack of all trades guy, I got myself a piece of 1 1/4 inch galvanized pipe. I got the floor screw brace, so it's threaded. So I got me about 10 inches. About 10 inches. Okay? Maybe I should have gotten 8.5. Okay? He's gotten 8.5. Okay. I got 10 inches there. Screwed that together. Took a 2x6, about 30 inches long, 2x4, and I ended up putting those together. Put that in the ground. Put the sandbags on top of it. And then drop the tree base into that thing. If it goes over now, it's literally the metal arm on it's going to have to bend, because that sucker's not going to move. But anyway, make a long story short about my truck. My truck was running funny. The RPMs would go up, but it was hardly moving. I took it, this is when I was going to the Eagles game, right? I go to the Eagles game, and I said, well, let me go ahead. My normal guys are down here in Waynesboro. The other guys I'd use in Northern Virginia, they usually take about a week to get to it. I'll just have my wife drop it off at the dealership. They'll take care of it and get it done because they know what they're doing. And describe what it's doing. They go through, I guess they just plugged it into the sensor and things and all that, and they got a code and said, oh, your problem is your catalytic converters are weak, and you need an extreme tune-up. So they did the tune-up. I said, well, okay, all right. I said, you check the transmission, all right? And these transmissions are sealed. You can't add transmission fluid or anything like that. They said, yeah, there's no problem. We've got no problems with the transmission. It's all okay. So I pick it up. 10 miles later, it's doing the same thing, where it's revving up. It's running smoother, but it's revving up, and it's hardly moving. Take it back to them another week later that they have the vehicle. They say it's the lead frame, which is up underneath the transmission, which is the controls to shift all the gears. Okay, another $1,500. I immediately, the next day, was headed down here in Waynesboro. Check engine light comes on. And I said, I'm just going to drive it down, see my guys down there, and see what it is. They went through and they said, sorry, it's your catalytic converters are shot. Because I talked to them before, they're like, they're getting bad. They told me in the summertime, and I was like, I don't want to roll the dice in that. So I got the catalytic converters done in there, and they said that the catalytic converters were so bad, it was, I'm not a mechanic guy, but they said it was like sand coming out of it, that it was just completely disintegrated. And he said when they were working on the oxygen sensor, that they were literally tapping out the stuff that was in it. The next day, Check engine light comes on. Take it back to them. They said, it's the oxygen sensor on. Okay. A couple $100 to change the oxygen sensor. No big deal. The next day, the check engine light comes on again, which was last night. I'm just like, this is freaking ridiculous. And they go through and they said, your car it's got a code on, I think, valve number 6, that it's misfiring. And he said they took out the spark plugs on it. So here we have one of the spark plugs that's brand new that was put in by the dealership. If you look at it real closely, you'll see it's got a little bit of a bend to it. What happened was they literally cracked the spark plug when they put it in there. And so it was grounding out and not using that cylinder. Right now, it's running smooth as shit. And I'm kind of like, how do you crack the spark plug? How do you crack the spark plug? Because I said, don't they have the rubber thing? He's like, yeah. He said the other thing was, he said they were all over tightened. He said we had to be careful when we unscrewed them because they were so tight that we were worried that you could break them. I trust those guys. I trust them. Some bullshit right there. Anyway, you heard the wind blowing. You can see my trees. They're still standing. I find a solution to shit. It might take me some time, but I'll get it done. Peace out.